we are hearing Bhaktyaloka, 12 essays by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura in relation to 6 faults which destroy devotion and 6 qualities which nourish devotion. Now we are hearing about Prajalpa. We heard words that do not describe, Shukadeva Goswami said in Bhagavatam, words that do not describe the transcendental Lord, but instead deal with temporary matters are simply false, harsh and useless. Only those words that manifest the qualities of the Supreme Lord are actually truthful, auspicious and pure. Those words describing the glories of the all-famous Lord are pleasing, relishable and ever fresh. They bring intense joy to the mind and they dry up the ocean of misery. This is all from Bhagavatam, 12th canto. If misery is still there, it means we did not actually surrender to Supreme Lord. Or up to that extent, how much we surrender, that much misery is removed. Criticizing devotees brings great inauspiciousness. If someone hopes to get bhakti, he should vow not to criticize the devotees at any time. The devotees of the Lord are real devotees or sadhu. Sadhu, like saints, Satang Ninda, Sadhu Ninda, that. Because in Bhagavatam, Kapil Bhagavan, he defined the word sadhu is one who has one-pointed exclusive devotion to Krishna. Generally in India, they will think sadhu is one who gave up houseful life and is roaming here and there. That is not necessarily a sadhu. He may be like tyagi, renunciate. But sadhu word can be applied only for pure devotee, and such pure devotee may be in renounced ashram or in household ashram. Still, he's a sadhu, like Ambrish Maharaj. His household, he did not renounce, go here and there. But Narayan Bhagavan told to Durvasa, sadhus are in my heart, and I am in the heart of sadhus. You have committed offense to Sadhu Ambrish Maharaj. You will have to go to him to beg forgiveness. So he used this word sadhu for Ambrish Maharaj. And when our Parangurudev came to Kumbh Mela, and there was one banner under one, means in front of one pandal, then it was written Sadhu Samaj. Then Parangurudev, because he was invited, he came inside and all Mayavadi sannyasis. Then Parangurudev first said that banner is wrong. It cannot be called Sadhu Samaj. It can be called as Tyagi Samaj, Renunciate Samaj, assembly, not Sadhu. Sadhu is a devotee of Bhagavan. You are not accepting Bhagavan, you are not accepting devotion, devotee. So how you can be sadhus? If one criticizes them, means devotees, all one's auspiciousness is destroyed. For criticizing Shiva, Daksha Prajapati, the best of the austere, obtained inauspiciousness. Ayu Shriyam Yasho Dharmam Lokan Ashisha Evacha Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani Pungsho Mahat Atikrama. My dear King Parikshit, when a man persecutes great souls, all his benedictions of longevity, beauty, fame, religion, blessings, and promotion to higher planets will be destroyed. It's from Bhagavatam. It is written 10th canto. It is in 4th canto. The essence of this section is that the devotees must very carefully give up all prajalpa, since it is unfavorable for bhakti. Among the instructions in the first verse, it was taught that one should control the urge of words, vachovegam. That is a periodic urge. Like before we heard, that is conditional. When urge arises, then you have to subdue by devotion. One should control speech daily or constantly by giving up prajalpa. One should speak as much as is necessary to maintain one's body without sin. Except for that, it is not proper to waste time speaking on other subjects. It is necessary to speak on all the topics which produce auspiciousness for oneself and other jivas. Thus, the Lord instructed Uddhava, Parasvabhava karmani yah prashangshati nindati sa ashu brashyate svartat asatyabhiniveshataha. The jnani who indulges in praising or criticizing the qualities and behavior of others will quickly fall from his position of jnana by his entanglement in illusory dualities. Because from that transcendental platform, any material qualities are temporary and also useless. And any material bad qualities are also temporary and useless. So what is the use of wasting time to criticize material nature or to praise material nature of anyone? It is waste of time. It is all temporary and false related to this world. So jnani, one who's on transcendental platform, is not speaking about those things. He's speaking about Supreme Lord's glories and his devotees' glories, their pastimes, name, everything. And he will utilize material things only as much as necessary for his maintenance so that he can do devotion. But you will see materialistic people, they will always speak about others, either praising or criticizing, mostly criticizing. Rarely you will find someone is actually praising, or if he's praising at all, it is for his own satisfaction or self-aggrandizement, because he's connected with that person, so he's glorifying him for his own sake. But devotees, they don't like this. It is idle talk, useless talk. And if someone comes to debate for getting name and fame, they will not speak at all, like Rupa and Sanatana. They reject. They will give outside, they will give respect so that they can, like a bribe, you take and go, so that they can do bhajan. Then, next fault, niyamagraha. There are two types of rules, niyam. Injunctions, vidhi, and prohibitions, nished. That which must be done is a vidhi niyam. That which is forbidden action is called Nishedas Niyam. Both types yield auspiciousness for the jiva. Nisheda. The conditioned jiva is capable of attaining a very commendable position from a very low condition. Between these two states are many stages. Each stage is a step in the sequence. Each stage is a resting spot for the jiva. At each stage, separate vidis and nishedas are prescribed. When the jiva stays at one stage and rests, he just follows the vidis and nishedas prescribed for that particular stage. By following those prescribed vidis and nishedas, he attains qualification for attaining the next contiguous stage. If he cannot attain that qualification, he is demoted to a lower stage. One is promoted, one is demoted. This is called misfortune. Attaining a higher stage is called good fortune. Maintaining the rules suitable for one's attained position in the sequence is called swadharma, or being fixed according to one's qualification. This is a good quality. Giving this up is called a fault. Good quality and bad quality are nothing but this. Thus, the Lord teaches the following to Uddhava. Sve dikare yanishta sagunah parikirtita. Vipareyas tu doshak syat ubayar esha nishchaya. Being fixed according to one's qualification is a good quality, and to be fixed in something not of one's qualification is a bad quality. This is how good and bad are determined. That is why a bona fide guru must be realized soul. He must know all Shastra and realize soul, so he knows all the stages, so he can prescribe Vidhi and Nished, what is to be done and what is prohibited according to eligibility of disciple. Because not one advice fits all, and it may give opposite result. If someone is forced into something which is not according to his own eligibility at this moment, then he cannot progress. Desha kaladi bhavanam vastunam mama satama guna dosho vidiyate niyamartam hi karmanam. O saintly Uddhava, in order to restrict materialistic activities, I have established that which is proper and improper among all material things, space and time. This is from Bhagavatam, Krishna telling to Uddhava. In deliberating on the Vidhi and Nished aspect of rules, there are two types, Nitya and Noimitic, eternal and occasional. The jiva is a pure spiritual entity. The Vidhi and Nished rules, when situated in the jiva's eternal nature, are called eternal rules, Nitya Niyam. When the jiva attains the material world and attains by Maya's upadhis, that is, false egos, a condition different from his perfect condition, it is called conditional, upadhic. That conditional state has many types. The eternal state is one alone. In the eternal state, prema is the jiva's vidhi and envy is the nishet. This rule consisting of vidhi and nishet follows the eternal nature of the jiva. The jiva devoid of envy and filled with prema is the shelter of eternal rasa. Though there are 5 types of rasa, it is one indivisible spiritual tattva. All are serving Krishna, that is the point. Sometimes there is some mundane debate going on mundane platform. This rasa, highest, this, all this, but on mundane calculation and for mundane purpose, that is offense. Because all rasas are one spiritual entity. All have this same quality. All have desire to please Krishna. So there is no, there should be no material dualistic projection on that. Like this Manjari Bhav, this is good, and that is bad. Only Shantarasa, or like this. If someone on material, with material conception speaks in this way, dualistic, then he's committing offense to spiritual entity, that spiritual, indivisible spiritual tattva. The rules of that stage will not be discussed here. It is only necessary to know that this is the jiva's eternal state. So in eternal state, the only rule or what is to be done is prema, to serve Krishna, to satisfy Krishna. And what is prohibited, it is envy, means why Krishna will enjoy, I can also enjoy. I will enjoy separately. That is envy. So that is when we are on marginal position, we can choose to serve Krishna, which is our natural function, or we can choose to enjoy Maya. That is one kind of envy of Krishna. Why Krishna will enjoy, I will enjoy. Why he is the only master and enjoyer. Why he is superior. No, I will enjoy, I will be master, I will be owner. So those jivas who enter into this world to enjoy it, they are envious of Krishna because he's the only master and enjoyer. And we are unable to tolerate that, his supreme position and our position in relation to him as his servant. We don't want, we want to separately enjoy. That is envy. So that is prohibited. And this happened on eternal platform, that marginal position, that is also beyond this material time. Because whatever jiva is doing, because jiva is eternal, she is eternally doing. When in Goloka, eternally serving. When in Maya, eternally enjoying. That is when it abada. Because you cannot put any starting point. And when in marginal position, that is also eternal. But jiva cannot rest there, stay there. But it is also, that position is also one position which is eternal. When jiva is there, it is eternally there. Then jiva, by her relative independence, she can change her position in eternity. These 3 states are possible. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you will find Tritiya, Sandhyam. So, in eternal, like that fully liberated state, prema is duty, envy is prohibition. But when jiva becomes envious of Krishna, from marginal plane, not those pure devotees, they cannot become envious of Krishna. They are already serving him eternally, and they are getting taste, and they have all knowledge. They have no desire. Only Narad Goswami, one time, he played the pastime of wanting to enjoy Maya. But that is lila, that is pastime, not real envy, to give us teaching. But those marginal jivas who wanted, they are thinking, let me be Krishna. Our Gurudev told, in this world, we all pose to be little Krishnas or Lilliput Krishnas. We all claim, I am enjoyer, I am master. This is mine, and I will enjoy. So it is offense, it is apparat to Krishna. He is the only enjoyer, he is the only master. If I pose, if I claim I am master, it is wrong. Though there are many types of rules in the noetic state, that is conditioned state, one can divide all the stages into three distinct groups while considering the gross characteristics. According to the Vedas, Gita, and Smritis, one sees three gross divisions: karma, jnana, and bhakti. In each division, there are certain vidhis and certain nishedas. In karma or varnashram dharma, the 10 samskaras following it and the daily rituals are the vidhi. Sins, minor sins, etc. are the nished. 10 samskaras are that garba something before conceiving child. Then when child is born, the jat karma, some sanskara, and then first eating of grain and the hair cutting, so many, the 10, they are described in Karma Shastras. And then marriage and Shraddha is the last one. And Diksha for Brahmin thread. They are in Varnashram Dharma, and they include worship of demigods and oblations to them, all this. But Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami is a disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 6 Goswamis. Diksha he took from his uncle, Prabodhananda Saraswati, but he was blessed by Mahaprabhu, so he wrote that book. It is called Sanskara Dipika, and this is one, and another is Satkriya Sardipika. He gave these 10 samskaras in relation to devotees, not to Varna Ashramis. Varna Ashramis, they think I am Brahmin, I am Kshatriya, I am of this Triguna, but devotees, they don't think that. They think I am eternal servant of Krishna. But those who are living in this world, they also can use those 10 samskaras, but he gave in relation to the worship of Radha Krishna. Like Krishna's prasad is given, and in marriage, husband will see wife as a devotee of Krishna and will pray for removal of her offenses and like this. All in relation to the service of Krishna, samskaras are there. And for taking sannyas, and in Shraddha ceremony also, Vishnu is worshipped and his or Radha Krishna, then their prasad is given to departed soul. All samskaras in relation to Radha Krishna service. That is proper for devotees to follow, not that Varna Ashram samskaras. And since, like you should not lie, you should not drink alcohol, you should not commit violence, So many sins are there. In Chaitanya Bhagavat we read from those scriptures, so many sins, different kinds. So all they have to know and avoid. They are nishedas. In the second division of jnana, sannyas, renunciation, detachment, and deliberation on spiritual and material are the vidis, vivek. You have to discriminate what is eternal, what is non-eternal, renunciation. These are the rules of jnana. Brahmacharya is part of jnana. Then dhamma, sama, control of senses, internal and external. Meditation, svadhyaya, study Vedic scripture, then discriminating non-eternal, eternal. Kamya karmas, forbidden acts and attachment to matter are nishedas. Those karmas which are to fulfill some material desire, they are prohibited in jnana. But in varna, ashram, dharma, they are there. Because that is that stage. But here they are totally prohibited to do some work just to fulfill your some material enjoyment desire. Forbidden acts and attachment to matter are nishedas, prohibited. You should not have attachment to any like family member. This is my family, that is your family, this is my country, that is your country. He's my friend, he's my enemy. That is all prohibited in jnana. In bhakti, indifference, observing rules of karma and jnana while making them favorable to bhakti, and by that cultivating the Lord while supporting the material body are the vidis. Indifference to this material world means enjoyment. And following that karma and jnana when they are subservient to devotion, like doing karma in order to maintain your body, so in a proper way and in relation to Krishna, so that you can maintain your body and serve Krishna. And jnana, what is eternal, what is non-eternal, and sambandha jnana that is there. And by that, cultivating the Lord while supporting the material body are the vidis. What has to be done? All karma, jnana, renunciation, and attachment to matter which are averse to the Lord, renunciation of various conclusions and actions opposed to bhakti are the nishedas that you have to give up. That is why it is not just to say he's reading Vedas, he's a devotee. That is not true. Vedas are speaking many different topics for many different levels. It is not just anyone will say something from Veda, he's automatically devotee. You will find, especially for Gita, there are so many commentaries. Each, they are trying to support their own something. Either for material enjoyment, they will quote those shlokas and they will say it is Gita's teaching like this, I'm following. And for yogis, they will give their own shlokas out. Jnanis, they will support. Mayavadis also, they will prove by the Gita that you are Brahman. This world is false. So it is not that just anyone has any connection with some Vedic scripture, he is automatically devotee. That is not true. Devotee is one who is devoted to Bhagavan eternally for his satisfaction, following that process of bhakti. There are certain rules which are applied for bhaktas, and there are certain things which are given up by bhaktas for the satisfaction of Krishna. That is their target. So Krishna also said in 11th canto, who is qualified for karma yoga, who is qualified for jnana yoga, who is qualified for bhakti yoga. It is not that anyone is a bhakta. It is not so easy, it is not so cheap. There are certain qualifications by which a devotee is defined, and by following certain actions and giving up certain actions, then he can be called as a devotee. There are much confusion. There is much confusion in some places about this because there is no proper guidance, realized guidance. Then they will apply just anything and everything. From the Veda, it is Veda, yeah, everything is good. But it is not so. Everything is good, yes, but you have to know good for what, for which stage, and for whom this is to be applied. It is not that everything can be applied by devotees. Then it will become, then it may become covered by karma or jnana. But Rupa Goswami defined devotion. Anya Bilasita Shunyam, we heard about this. Anya Bilasita Shunyam, Jnana Karma Adi, means yoga, tapasya, all other also. Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam, it should not be covered by those. They are having upper hand, or for those targets. Jnana Karma Anavritam, Anukulyena Krishna Nushlanam. It must be favorably done for Krishna's satisfaction. Then that is called bhakti. Otherwise not. Not everything is bhakti and not everyone is bhakta. According to Vedic definition. This is Rupa Goswami's verse. But you will find in Narad Pancharatra, Sarva Padavi Nirmuktam Tat Paratena Nirmalam Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchati. One who gave up all false egos and accepted that he is eternal servant of Krishna and engaging all the senses for the service of the master of the senses, who is Krishna or Supreme Lord in any form. That is called bhakti. Then, and you see, because there are different vidis and nishedas for different levels, all based on the Vedas. What may be a rule for jnanis to follow is prohibition for devotees to follow. When the conditioned jiva giving up non-Vedic life, when the conditioned jiva giving up non-Vedic life, that of being an outcast, he becomes elevated. Then first he becomes situated in the stage of karma kanda. The jiva here he is not devotee. He is following Vedic life, but he is not a devotee. Now it's a karma kanda. The jiva situated at this level, aiming at the higher level of jnana, constantly remains in varna, ashram, dharma. He has to follow all those rules because that is his stage. And when by following that stage, he will come to Nishkama Karma Yoga, then that will purify his heart. Then he can become eligible for jnana, because some realization he will get inside. This is his rule, niyam, to follow that varna ashram rules. Until he becomes indifferent to material karma by discrimination of the nature of ahankar, that is false ego, of triguna, and investigating spiritual and material. If he gives up practicing varna ashram, he commits sin. Because that is his eligibility now, qualification. Like in school, there are first grade, second grade, like many grades. So now, one is small boy, no education. Then what he has to do? He has to go to first grade. If he does not go to first grade, then how he can advance? How he will learn ABCD, all this? He cannot just enter, though it is in the same building, he cannot enter into fourth grade class. He cannot understand that thing. So he will be loser, he will not gain anything. He has to go to first, then learn ABCD. When he will finish all exams and he will be successful, then automatically he can go to second class, third class, like this. But otherwise, if he jumps, then where he will go? It is same with Vaidhi and Raganuga. It is not that you can just imitate Raganuga and you will be Raganuga. You have to earn that qualification of greed to serve Krishna all the time. And when you have that greed to serve Krishna all the time, then at that time only these rules of Vaidhi do not apply to you, because already you are naturally attracted to Krishna. But if you are not, and you are giving up the rules of Vaidhi, then where you will end up? You will end up in this material enjoyment. Because not accepting that vidhis for purification of heart and for attachment to Krishna and giving up that which is non-congenial for the service of Krishna. If you don't practice that, then how you will be free of material enjoying spirit? And so, like that is why, in the name of Raganuga, like it is beyond all rules and regulations, Paramhamsa, in the name of, but they had no qualification, in the name of that, they did all kinds of material sense enjoyment activities, and everything was spoiled for them, and the bad name for Gauriya Vaishnavism. That is why Prabhupada had to appear, sent by Mahaprabhu, and he practiced Vaidhi to be example and worshipping Raga. Otherwise you will lose everything if you try to jump or imitate that elevated stage. When you will become eligible, then you can enter that. So here, if one who is eligible for karma, he will not have that indifference to karma, and he will not understand the difference between material and spiritual, eternal, non-eternal. Then if he will not follow Varna, Ashram, Dharma, then he will be totally lost, because that is the only way by which he can attain qualification to get that realization, and he can enter Jnana. So, because he is qualified for karma, if he gives up practicing Varna, Ashram, Dharma, he commits sin. So all rules and prohibitions are always considered by someone's qualification. It is not same for all. That is the main mistake it is done. it is the same as in Ayurveda. What is healthy for someone may not be healthy for another one, because they have different constitutions. It is not that impersonally you will say, yes, this food is healthy, this food is not good. It is in relation to constitution. In the same way, all Vedic instructions for gradual progress of the jivas, they are considering qualification. What is good for those who are following karma is good for them, and they have to follow that. But after they will attain higher qualification, that same activity will have to be given up, which was good before. So then someone will say, no, before you said it is good. It is not like generalized, this is good for all and for all time. No. That is why realized guru guide must be there. When indifference arises on attaining higher qualification, he rejects being fixed in karmas. Before, he must be fixed in karmas. Now he has to reject being fixed in karmas, because now he understands, I am not of Triguna. I am spirit. I am not neither Brahmin nor Kshatriya, all these Trigunas. But before, he has to follow according to those Trigunas' duties. Then when he purified heart, then indifference comes, because he realizes, I am not this material energy, I am spirit. So I should be indifferent to this. Otherwise, if I am attached, then that will disturb me. So now he has to give up those. Like someone fell and he broke legs like this. So then they will fix something, and then for some time he will have to use those sticks, walking sticks. But that is for some time only, until those bones and all this is fully fixed, and he can those sticks are to help him walk, so that he will not put too much pressure on that bones like this. But when they become healthy, then he has to throw away those sticks. Before, they were necessary, absolutely necessary, otherwise he will harm himself. But when he attains health, if he does not give up, then how he will freely walk or run? He has to give up. So you cannot generalize those walking sticks are good for all. Depends on qualification. At that time, if he remains attached to all the niyamas within qualification for karma, he cannot progress. For a person who has ascended to the division of jnana, being fixed in jnana is niyam, rule. As long as he does not have taste for this stage of bhakti, he must remain fixed in the rules of jnana. Otherwise, he will misunderstand what is bhakti. He will think that is also like man-woman relation, because he has no proper realization of variegatedness in spiritual realm or in eternal that consciousness. No conception. So if you tell him about Krishna and gopis, he will think this is this material world, man, woman. He is not eligible for bhakti. That is why Shukadev Goswami intentionally did not speak about Radharani in that assembly of scholars. Not all were qualified. When qualification for bhakti arises, one must give up being fixed in jnana. But if before that he gives up being fixed in jnana, then he will lose everything. Because that is his qualification now. Otherwise, he becomes contaminated with the fault of niyamagraha and cannot progress. Now, these verses of 11th canto I had in mind before. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata mat kata shravanado vashrada yavana jayate. As long as one does not become detached from daily and periodic karmas, or has not awakened his faith in hearing topics about me, Krishna is telling, one must perform one's prescribed duties of Varna Ashram. If one did not awake faith in Krishna, that means Krishna is my eternal master, I am his eternal servant, my duty is to serve him, and if because that faith is awakened, has desire to hear the glories of Krishna, is not envious, then he is eligible for bhakti, he is a bhakta. But if this did not happen, then he must be fixed in Varna Ashram Dharma. Both are Vedic paths based on the Vedas, but one is a devotee, another is not devotee, according to definition, because that is karma kant, then jnana kant and bhakti kant. Those who are practitioners of bhakti kant, they are called devotees. Not just everyone who follows some Veda or thinks he's following the Vedas is automatically devoted. That is not correct. There is a definition of devotion and definition of a devotee. And here qualification is this: awaken his faith in hearing topics about me, Krishna Lila, and without envy he is listening, and with a view to serve him. Faith is the qualification for bhakti. Tasman mad bhakti yuktasya yogino vai mat atmana na jnanam na cha vairagya praya shreyo bhavet iha. Therefore, this is also Krishna telling to Uddhava, therefore, for a devotee engaged in bhakti, with mind fixed on me, the cultivation of knowledge and renunciation is generally not beneficial for bhakti. That will divert you to some other. Only target is what is favorable for the service of Krishna. Not any kind of activity for fruit or any kind of false renunciation. That is not favorable for devotion. It should not cover your devotion, should not interfere. When attachment to jnana and vairagya are removed from the heart, the actions of bhakti can manifest properly. Jnanis, they think vairagya is the point. Or you have to renounce everything, all attachment, everything you have to renounce and get liberated. That is Jnani's conception. But devotee's conception is not like that. He sees everything belongs to Krishna. I belong to Krishna. I am his eternal servant. Everything should be utilized for his service. There is no question of any false or dry renunciation, no question of any liberation. Target is satisfaction of Krishna. The temple of Krishna Prema is established at the very top of Golok Vrindavan. Surpassing the steps of the material universe, 14 worlds made of karma kanda, that is up to Brahmaloka, where Brahma, four-headed Brahma is there, that is all karma kanda. 14 worlds. that you have to surpass, piercing the steps Jnana Kanda in the form of Viraja and Brahman. Viraja is that river which divides manifested material universe and spiritual eternal, that conscious plane. So Viraja is the unmanifested, that Prakriti, Triguna there, but not in action, because Viraja, no Raja, no Rajaguna is active, so there is no creation there. No creation. So this is the place which Buddhists achieve. For them, that is highest type of happiness. But devotees, they know, they only attain the stage of like suffering with no waves of suffering. In this world, there is creation, all this movement is going on, so attachment, enjoyment, suffering, all this. So Buddhists, they come out from this attachment, then they think this is highest happiness. But actually higher than this happiness is Brahman. That is why Shankaracharya could drive out all Buddhists from India by propagating higher, that is spiritual, eternal happiness in Brahman. But Brahman is static, no waves of Ananda. That is why Vaishnava Acharyas, they could remove Shankaracharya and establish devotion to Krishna or Supreme Lord in any form. So the point is, first one must surpass the steps of these 14 worlds. Then also Jnana Kanda, that is Buddhism, and that Mayavadism or Jnana, that is Viraja and Brahman. Or this is like Sridhar Maharaj told, like marginal position. Not in this world, not in spiritual world. Then one rises to the top of Vaikuntha, gradually giving up practices of karma and jnana, which are steps. One attains qualification for bhakti. Surpassing the steps of bhakti, one sees the door of the temple of prema. Prema is on the top of, that is pure love. Not worship of Krishna, but loving Krishna in intimate sweet delight in Vrindavan. So for all these stages, there are different rules and prohibitions. So you cannot just jump to prema. Yes, I have prema, love, 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 but attached to non-eternal things. In Raganuga, there is no rule, so you don't speak about those things. I have prema, so I'm not following any rules. Whether really there is prema or not, there are certain symptoms for one who has prema, who has attained prema, and he can follow that rule of prema and giving other things. But if there is no real prema, then he will not attain. He has to follow those rules and regulations for his stage, for advancement. This we will hear maybe on Monday, because tomorrow is Ekadashi and 2 Vaishnavas. If there is time, maybe. And Monday also is 1 Vaishnav, so we'll see. We'll hear at that time.